Woman cancels date after discovering man's zodiac sign. Is this something that's common in the dating world? We're going to discuss this as well as the craze that's sweeping the entire world, New York Times wordle. In addition, we're going to talk about a very funny murder mystery party that Will Woodington hosted one time. All this and way more coming up on episode 47 of the Stouting Off podcast. Welcome. Episode 47 of the Stouting Off podcast. Can't believe we've made it this far. We've made it this far. Believe there's a song that starts out like that. Can't remember it, though, because I don't know any music that was made prior to 1996. Anyway, I'm Drew Stoutenberg, host of the Stouting Off podcast. Want to welcome my brothers in arms to the studio remotely due to the miracle of technology from across the country, Jordan and Will. Welcome, you guys.
1996.
That's right. Jinx. That's Jinx. And that's Jinx. That's how Jinx works. It's lovely to have you guys both here. Man, between me, you, and the fence post, I feel like we're really finding our rhythm here on the pod. And the past 2 weeks, I can't believe the reception that we've gotten from fans, new, old, and future. It's been really nice. So it's been nice with the new addition to the crew. Of course, sure. Billiards, Will Woodington. Welcome to the family. And so I think you guys, we should all get matching tattoos that say Stouting Off. But it should be our faces in the logo like Mount Rushmore. So, Jordan, if you could, I don't know, maybe draw up some mock-ups or something. It could be nice.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
And I would do that, probably.
Yeah. On your own volition, like on your own accord.
Yeah, I'll do it.
On your own Honda Accord.
It's good to be back, though. I think that, the best part about the podcast is that while we're talking, us three together and stuff like that, kind of feels like we're talking to everyone and they're talking back to us.
It does. It's almost like you can hear them.
Yeah.
Seems if like a psychological issue. But
I was going to say, if you listen closely, it's like when you put your ear inside of a seashell, you can hear.
Yeah. It's a studio audience. Feels like a studio audience.
It does.
It's true.
Listening to a seashell and you just hear like a Jerry Springer audience inside of it.
You are not the father. You pull the conch shell to your ear.
Beautiful ocean.
You are
serene. Scenery is beautiful. Everything. Oh man, look at this shell. I used to love doing this as a kid. Jerry.
It's like that. It's like
it
that.
Really is.
I did You Are Not the Father, which is Maury, and so that's going to be on me.
Viewers, please blast him in the comments. Thank you.
Yes, I deserve that. That's a good point. While we're there, viewers, and while we're addressing you, the elephant in the room here, would you like, subscribe, and share with your inner circle and your outer circle too, but mostly and foremostly your inner circle. Outer circle, they can take it or leave it. But share it with at least 3 people if you would. Although my inner circle is much larger than 2 or 3. I mean, we're talking
5, 6.
5. I mean, 6 even. Like, it's way larger than 2 or 3. I was talking with someone recently. If I was to get married today, just how difficult it would be to narrow down 5 or 6 groomsmen. I'm like, I've already stood in more than 5 or 6 weddings. So if I'm just going on weddings alone, then that's a thing I got to think about. And
you've somehow been the best man at every wedding in the Metro Detroit area for the last 35 years.
That's right.
That is true.
Well, I was running the LLC, Best Man Enterprises, BME LLC, 501c3. And so
BME LLC, dude.
BME LLC, 501c3, non-incorporated.
Formerly known as Blemlock.
Yeah, you're familiar. Yeah. You wrote all my marketing material. I forgot about that.
I remember that.
You want to know something that I talked about The Bachelor last week. I brought this up, and I meant to. This is why I brought it up last week, but we never got to it. On The Bachelor, when the bachelor is saying goodbye, saying you're not going to get a rose, you have to go home, or when the bachelorette is saying that on those seasons, they say, "Can I walk you out?" And they like hold hands to the limo to leave, and then he sequesters her into the limo and they drive away. She drives away,
and they both cry.
The limo driver drives. She's in there.
The limo driver cries.
I can imagine no circumstance in which I would ever be the person who, after the bachelorette tells me I'm sending you home because there's no connection, we hold hands after that and walk to the limo.
It's not happening.
It's not happening. I'm not going to be cordial after we break up.
No.
You know?
On national TV.
On national TV. I'm not going to shatter stuff. I'm not going to get ticked off. But I'm not going to be like, yeah, let's hold hands. Well, A, because I hate holding hands while walking. But I also am not going to do that. And I was just wondering if you guys have any thoughts on that. Jordan, Billiards, you made your position clear. You're with me. Jordan, would you be the guy who says, sure, you can walk me out and you do the thing?
Probably, yeah. Just like to keep it somewhat civil. Yeah. But like, but at the same time, like, no, I wouldn't want to, you know?
Yeah, sure.
But they also say something else. Like, when they get to the limo, they say like, I thought we had something and I just want the best for you. And so like, good luck with the rest of the show. I'd be like, good luck. Like,
yeah, right. made a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I wouldn't be wishing someone luck when I lost. You know what I mean? In that situation. Because that's like playing with heartstrings and stuff like that. It's not good sportsmanship. It's not a game, you know? Like
right.
if you're playing Wheel of Fortune, yeah, you can, to your opponent, you can be like, all right, good luck.
But right. I would hold Pat Sajak's hand if I lost on the way out.
You would let him
car?
Walk
to the car that you won, dude. The Honda Accord that you won.
The car that I didn't win. I lose Wheel of Fortune. I'm holding hands with Pat Sajak on the way out, the entire way out.
But he walks you up to where the car is that the other person won, and he shows you all the features.
The winner has to drive me away from the studio.
This is what you could have won.
Power locks, air conditioning, AM/FM tuner. I found something that I wanted to run by you guys.
Let's hear it.
I saw a TikTok.
Here we go.
And it said, if she lets guys buy her drinks when she's in a relationship, that's cheating.
Dumb.
With red flags.
Dumb.
That's totally not cheating, right?
No.
Not at all. I think
smart.
I don't want to speak on behalf of women all around the world, but I do feel like that's sort of commonplace. Like, a girl's not going to turn down a free drink. Buying the drink does not mean that they're subjugated to continue conversation with this person or invest in them at all.
Yeah. You're not on the
harmless.
hook for anything.
No. And if that guy buys that drink, that's on him. He buys that drink.
Yeah.
Unannounced. She has no moral responsibility, how you say, to then divulge into the relationship stuff. But if it comes down to that, hey, I'm in a relationship.
That's all good. That's good stuff. And I can tell that you've really looked up the legal case against this. So
I've studied this for a while.
Yeah.
I really have. In Chicago, in LA for a couple of years, I practiced it. And then
you didn't go to Bismarck? Because that's the capital for stuff like this.
I wanted to go to Bismarck,
but it was too busy.
Real estate there is just through the roof, though. I couldn't make it happen. So
that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's dumb. Frankly,
I do too.
Now, I can understand the implication of buying someone a drink too. So I can see, like, if I play devil's advocate, I can see, like, you know, if someone came home and my girlfriend came home and she's like, yeah, we were out at the place, I met this really great guy, and he bought me drinks, I'd be like, that's weird, but also free, so good on you.
Sure.
But I buy people drinks, I think, all the time.
Yeah.
Something that I do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to cheat on anyone.
Yeah, I think the nature, I think the context of it is what's most important. If and by what means that mini interaction was initiated. If she's flirting with somebody, I don't particularly like that. If my girlfriend was like flirting with guys to get them to buy him drinks, I don't like. I guess it's the means by which you get the free drink. If it was involuntary, somebody sends my girl a drink or whatever, okay, great. Don't care at all.
Yeah.
Not even worth mentioning. Don't care. If it's
You'll
like,
thank 'em.
we were talking with these guys all night, and like totally could tell that one of them was super into me and the other was super into my friend, and they just bought us drinks all night, and I'd be like, you can afford your own drinks.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. At
you
some
don't need
point,
to
there's
do that.
like, there's a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it depends. The person who wrote that had a bad experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The person who wrote that TikTok or posted that TikTok had a bad experience, and something happened. And
He wrote the code for the TikTok. The person who programmed the app. He wrote it.
brackets in bold.
Remember that formatting on on MySpace HTML?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Miss
dude.
it.
Thought it was a quote. Wow, I'm just gonna stop, dude. Can't say it. Can't say the word.
Thought it was a cork.
cord.
Yeah, thought I was a cork. A cork. I mean a cork. Yeah.
Bales and bail. Hey, we learned something about corks, but before we go into corks, say what you were going to say.
I thought I was a professional level coder
Yeah.
when I would make my MySpace page
Oh, for sure.
and edit it.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you were like, oh, I can move this picture below this other picture. I know how to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of cork, though, what you spoke about a few moments ago, we learned on some distillery tours the other day that the main supplier country of cork for around the world, all applications, is Portugal. Something like 90% of the world's cork comes from Portugal. Didn't we learn that, Will, at one of the places?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, at Jack Daniel's, I got this limited edition bottle, the Red Dog Saloon version of Jack Daniel's,
Oh,
which
that's
is
cool.
normal Jack Daniel's, but it's proofed up a tiny bit, six proof.
And it's pays homage to one of the saloons he used to operate or he opened. That was called Red Dog.
Yeah, so exactly. He opened he had the Red Dog Saloon and then the White Rabbit Saloon as well. And the White Rabbit is the name of their bottle shop, their souvenir shop. They have to call. Interestingly enough, Jack Daniel's is located in Lynchburg, Tennessee, and it's a dry county. You can't purchase alcohol for consumption purposes there, but you can buy alcohol in their gift shop in a commemorative bottle, which happens to have alcohol in it. That's like their loophole somehow.
Yep.
It's like a souvenir.
Yeah.
It's a souvenir bottle that happens to be filled with some nice whiskey. Wish
And
I
every
could
bar
open
he
it.
opened is color plus animal.
He only had
I
two
guess,
of them.
yeah, he only had two, but for some reason they don't even know why he called them one Red Dog Saloon and the other White Rabbit Saloon. He had something with animals, clearly.
Yeah.
I tell you, every time I go to a place like this, like Jack Daniel's doesn't have a reputation with me like, some good sipping bourbon right there, or good sipping whiskey right there. But after I go to these places, I'm like, I kind of like it. I got an appreciation for the story and everything now.
100%.
We've said it time and time again on this podcast, but like the reason that the three of us like whiskey is not because it's drunk juice or it's a cool image or something like this. It's America's native spirit, which is cool. Bourbon is America's native spirit, which is cool. But also like all the cool history behind it. And then the most important part is getting to share it.
Mm-hmm.
Sharing the
For sure.
passion. Which,
Not to
speaking
mention
of,
too. Yeah. Sorry.
go ahead. No, I insist. You go.
Yeah. So like when I started getting into bourbon, like I liked old fashions, but it took me a second to like old fashions because I'd never had a good old fashioned. So like an old fashioned that I knew was like a wedding old fashioned where it's like just bad. It just tastes bad.
Bowling alley ice and just watered down. And
yeah, watered
they run down to the
and
bowling alley to get their ice.
there is something about bowling alley ice, dude.
Yeah.
It's wetter than normal ice.
and it's infused with cigarette smoke.
Yes.
What is this $5,000 charge on our catering bill, honey? Oh, they had to run down to Vision Lanes and get some ice.
Well, we needed the premium ice, honey. So what do you expect?
But yeah, so like the old fashioned was a gateway into bourbon for me. And I think that oftentimes, like even if I give my mom like a pour and she tastes it, she's going to like, she's going to immediately it's going to be like way too hot, right? Mm-hmm. Because people who drink just a bourbon neat are they're anticipating it to burn. They're anticipating it to hurt and feel it all the way down. When you go to a distillery, you learn more about what's kind of infused and in the bourbon and what makes the bourbon that bourbon or whiskey the whiskey or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so now when you drink it, you're looking for those things as opposed to anticipating or being intimidated by, a fumes through your nose experience,
Mm-hmm. Totally. And you're drinking a story too. You're remembering back on the story.
Yeah.
You're remembering walking by those big, fermentation tanks and the smell of it and the sounds of it. And you're remembering about how Jack Daniels died due to implications from kicking his safe because he was pissed off.
Yeah.
He got gangrene on his foot as a result of the injury, had to amputate his toes, had to amputate his leg. Eventually, the infection still spread to the rest of his body, and he died at like 60 or 56 or something.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So you're just the stories and the history. That's why we freaking love bourbon and just whiskey in general. That's why it's
great.
cool.
So that definitely fascinated me. That I didn't know that he died from that. I didn't even know that he had a leg amputated at whatever point.
Same.
Yeah, because he kicked his safe, gangrene to his toe, cut that off. Then he lost his leg because of it, and then eventually died. Like, I had no idea. So we've talked about this on the last two podcasts, how I have Ancestry.com.
You have the resources.
One of my key resources. Okay. So when I was delving into it, you could see different newspaper clippings and articles and stories about certain people that, have shared people within their tree, if they've saved memories or they have information, whatever. So I'm digging into my dad's family's past, and I'm 2 generations back, I think 2, maybe 3. And I was looking up newspaper articles using the last name of my family.
Which is?
Or their family, which was Bullard. And so I'm looking up stuff in Nashville. I come across this article from, I don't even know what year it was. I think it was like maybe the 30s or the 40s at some point. And I could not believe it because my dad or someone had told me about this story and I had completely forgotten about it, put it in the back of my mind, or just didn't believe that it was true because it was just hearsay at that point.
Sure.
He never met this person. He was told this story by someone else. It's like, all right, how much truth is there to this? But
exactly. Anytime either of my parents, for example, say, well, way, way back when, several generations ago, X happened. And I'm like, nope, didn't.
Yep.
Didn't. You don't fact check anything.
Nope.
Didn't. You have no way of proving it, so didn't.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard this around a bonfire one night.
Yeah,
at
did.
2 a.m. All right. Didn't happen. But so I was actually able to verify this. I'm tying this into how weird of a trajectory Jack Daniels took to the end of his life.
Yeah.
My great uncle, I think his name was George.
Honk. Oh.
Charles. Honk. My great uncle Charles, he worked in some sort of bagel factory, I believe it was, in Nashville. And one of his coworkers was horsing around one day and decided to take an air hose that they blow the machines off with to clean them off with, and just stuck it. He stuck it. He stuck it.
Up where the sun don't shine.
Where the sun does not ever shine, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, George, jinx. For real,
Yes.
Jinx.
And it was so forceful that it ended up ending his life.
Man.
A harmless prank.
A harmless little prank. He's like, I was just joking around. I was just kidding around.
I was just horsing around.
I wasn't trying to kill the guy.
His last words. I was just
Dude.
joking around.
I'm sorry for your loss, Billiards.
Thank you. I was very close to him back in the late 30s.
I'm sorry, man.
But I couldn't believe it, man. I mean, if anything, he didn't die in vain. He gave us a great story to talk about.
He did.
It's really funny you say that because you've told me this story before. And my dad, he's a great carpenter. I grew up basically in a wood shop. Like we would go to school and have shop, and I'd always be like, this is nothing like my dad's. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
totally.
I've seen that before. All the stuff.
I know all the smells and the sounds and stuff.
Yeah, but like growing up around those tools, obviously had like some sort of scare from my dad in there too. Like be careful, be cautious, all the stuff. And when it came to like our air compressor, which wasn't like a sit on the ground air compressor, it was a 2-tank, like 250-gallon air tank, like compressor.
6 feet tall. Yeah.
Massive, And he's like, every time he said, well, I used to know a guy, we were in the shop. We were in the shop. Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, we were in the shop, and he decided to play a joke. Stick it up where the sun don't shine. He blew his guts out. And then you told me that story, and I'm like, maybe my dad knew him. But then you said 30s.
Yeah.
Well, dude, in high school, our shop teacher said that. He said that exact same little story.
It's a thing,
Really?
man.
Maybe this is a thing. Maybe that's a thing.
A lot of lives lost over that compressor joke.
We need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little compressor prank. Yeah.
It's really an untold story of a generation of people who have unfortunately fallen victim to that prank. It's sinister, really.
Truthfully. So if you're out there, don't try it at home.
Don't try it.
Don't
try it in your bagel factory.
Do you guys want to know something fun that I did over the weekend?
I would like to, yeah.
On Sunday, I hosted 14 people at my house, and we had like a Polish day. Because today, right now, is Fat Tuesday. And so in Michigan, I think it's only in Michigan, right? Is it down there?
I'm glad you brought that up. So, yes. Our friend Johnny in one of the group chats that I'm in was like, Stout, have you found any punchkis down in Nashville? Like, did you get a punchki? I'm like, dude, people down here don't even know that word. It's very just localized to, I believe, the Detroit area and like true blue Polish people. Sure,
I think it's a very Polish thing, and so it just it so happens that
there's a Polish population
in
Detroit. Yeah,
high Polish. Yeah. So anyway, we knew it was Fat Tuesday. That's what it's called, Fat Tuesday. By the way, for all of you who don't know, it's
just
Fat
right on
Tuesday.
the nose, man. Yeah.
Yep. And so anyway, we got with our friends and we said, hey, how about the weekend before Fat Tuesday? We get together and we just do like all Polish dishes. And this was so fun. Like everybody brought their own stuff, and like we had like a bunch of different sausages, and people brought punchkis, which are like the donuts, probably 1,500-1,600 calorie donuts that are filled with custard or jelly or whatever it is.
I want to be buried with them.
I mean, they're fantastic.
I want to be buried in one, dude.
Yeah, they're fantastic. I had, for the first time ever, actually, I had a cannoli punchki, which was so insanely good. In fact, I think I have one upstairs you can have after this. So anyway, it was super fun. And I've eaten pierogies like growing up, but I've gotten them in the freezer section, and I've put them in the oven, and I've eaten them with sour cream, and they're awesome. Sure. But we actually like handmade the dough, like rolled it through the pasta, thinner outer, for lack of better terms.
Yeah.
The simple machine. And then like on my counter, we had probably 100 pierogi like circles filled them with some potatoes, some sauerkraut, pinched it, did all the stuff. Dude, it was so fun.
Dude, that sounds
And
yum
the
tea.
food was so good. I made a Polish cocktail. I didn't exactly know what or who was going to be super interested to like the drinks, and so I wanted to make it like as universally fun as possible. Like I wanted everybody to enjoy it. So
That's
I
a
ended
good
up doing
host.
a Polish mule. And with that, I did like a ginger and pear infused vodka with lime and ginger beer and stuff like that. And it was really good. Simple syrup. It was really good.
That's tight.
Yeah, but it's a fun time.
You do events really well. I mean, yeah, good host. Very good host. Gracious host. I feel like we're all pretty good at hosting. I feel like we all love to host. Don't we, Will?
And when we host together,
Oh, I mean,
Unforgettable gala.
unforgivable.
Unforgettable gala that it usually is.
Have you ever had this?
I have it at home.
Maker's
will
Cast
say-
strength, you guys.
I will also say that if it weren't for Monica, my wonderful, perfect human being wife, I wouldn't know what hosting was.
Shout her out. Yeah,
She-
she has all the considerations under wraps.
Dude,
She's like, well,
she
if
puts
you
it
thought
together.
about
She's
where
the
everybody's
ultimate
going to go to
host.
the bathroom, have
Yeah.
you thought about how everybody's going to park,
Yep.
etc. She knows like all the questions.
I think she knows how to host, and that's why I feel like I might know how to host.
Every
great.
time I
That's
come over,
true.
there's nothing short of the 15 plates in the kitchen displayed with meats, cheeses, chocolates, nuts,
Rare goods.
She's
Yeah.
the
rare
best.
fine oils that
Yeah.
imported, soft cloth imported, Indonesia,
Yeah,
everything, everything.
Probably
of
brand new
cashmere.
napkins, brand like whatever themed
Yep.
for whatever. It was.
Yep.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But I've hosted some things in my apartment, and it's an immediate fire hazard if I get anything over than 6 people in that place.
It's true. But it's fun. It's fun. It's true, but it's very
It's
fun.
close quarters, but yeah, it's usually fun. I hosted our that murder mystery party a few years ago.
that's got to be fun.
That was very, very special. It was
Give us the quick rundown of that.
19 I think it was 1920s themed, of course. And so the motif in my apartment fits perfectly already. Stout, his character, I think I was like a mob boss. Stout's character was my right-hand man. I forget what his name was.
Tommy Four Guns Beagle.
That's weird. I'm sure nobody expected that.
The plot twist. Stout's my right-hand man.
If you can believe that.
And we had so many great friends. It was so fun because I sent everybody's character on who they were going to be. I mailed it all to them.
That's cool.
Yes.
So they got in the mail. They got to like kind of dress appropriately for their character, build it up, whatever. And everybody showed up. Everybody showed
Andy
up
was a
that night.
pilot.
That's super fun.
And so that's what I want to touch on was one of the best characters in the whole thing was this pilot character who I don't know why, but I gave it to Andy Broda. Now, Andy, for you listeners and viewers that don't know Andy, he's a great guy, but he's mild mannered.
He's not center of attention guy.
He's not yelling. He's not center of attention like you said. I gave him probably one of the most center of attention characters of all time because not only was he a pilot, he was like the town drunk as well.
Yeah.
And for the party, I decided, okay, I'm going to line up, I think, 3 period correct cocktails to serve everybody through the night. So I spent about 3 hours making everybody their first cocktail.
That's
and then
right.
as we're going through the night, people are walking up and saying, hey, do you mind making me another? Whatever. So I would make a cocktail for Andy. He would put it in his hand and then go, can I have another one?
True to character.
True to character, he was every time he would be double fisting cocktails. He had these amazing aviator goggles and stuff. It was
With the leather
awesome.
cap that kind of
Yes.
goes down. It was
Looked
perfect.
so authentic.
That was so fun. I just remember being your enforcer, dude. That was
Yes.
so funny.
Yes.
And anytime anybody would say anything, I was just, hey! We'd just be talking, and I'd just be, hey!
Whoa!
I had an inflatable Tommy gun too.
Yes.
Oh, that's fun.
Just be waving it around.
I have a picture of you staring out my window, looking intimidating with the inflatable Tommy gun next to me.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Thinking about like a situation like that, there is literally nothing better than some sort of themed party that everybody's just like down to be at, and just like
everybody was
goes
all in.
There is nothing worse than that one person
Yeah.
who doesn't want to be there or didn't dress up like they should have.
Yep.
You know what? We all know the person.
100%, dude. I had faith that I hand chose every person that was going to be there because I knew that these people are going to show up.
Yeah.
They're going to show. They're going to be dressed up. They're going to be into their character. They're going to be into the whole thing.
Yep.
I can't tell you Halloween is one of my favorite holidays for whatever reason. And
is it because you love being a character, dude?
I love not being me.
Could it be?
And at my very heart and soul and core. And so, but I've been to Halloween parties. Like my aunt would usually have like a Halloween get together, and it's nothing crazy. It's, maybe 20, 25 people she would invite, and they'd have a bonfire and we'd all hang out and stuff. Right. My whole thing was like, I have to think of a great costume. Okay. So I would come there dressed as Forrest Gump when he was running in the movie. Shorts, a beard. I put time into it. It's an uncomfortable thing to wear that outfit at the end of October in Michigan. Very uncomfortable.
For sure.
But I would show up and half the people were in costume. The people that were wearing things that they just found around that were easy to just slap on. Nobody was into it. And that's so disheartening. For sure. When you're really dedicated to it and everybody else is just like, whatever.
Yeah, it's the worst.
I'm like, basically you're I don't know, you're degrading it feels like my birthday. Or something. Like it was that important to me. So it's definitely key when you throw something like that to handpick and know your audience and know whether or not they're going to be dedicated.
You did a great job with the 20s thing, man. That was
a lot of work.
The 20s party.
That. I had to go rent.
So it's kind of like Clue then, right? Like that era. Like, yeah, that's super fun. We were going to do something like that when we were in Nashville as well.
Oh, it's very, very
Halloween
fun.
is like Monica's favorite holiday too.
Mm-hmm.
She loves dressing up. Now as a family, it's a little different. We all have to, we get to be like less fun things, but they're still fun. I was Woody last year, and Blakely was Jane.
Right? Yeah, Bo Peep.
Jane?
Oh yeah.
No,
wait,
Monica
Jane.
was Bo Peep. Jesse. Sorry,
Jesse. Oh yeah, Jesse,
the female cowboy,
and Jude was Buzz Lightyear. So like we'll probably be family themed from now on, but she takes it very, very seriously. Like starts planning in June, July.
Yeah. Well, and I think that if you meet anybody from like the Midwest or the Northeast part of the country, they're pretty much going to have the same sentiment as when it comes to Halloween. I feel like you're going to find more love for Halloween the further you get into that territory versus like in Florida or something.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Halloween,
yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Because there's a whole thing to it. It's like the weather cools down.
Yeah.
There's bonfires.
True.
You get dressed up. It's a whole honestly, Halloween shouldn't even be celebrated in the other states.
Yeah, let's take it away from them.
What's the point? Which is why I'm going to bring up legislative
I was going to say,
motion.
Can you pass a bill? Can you present
House
a bill to the
Resolution
House?
C-528, which is to take Halloween away from the other 40 states.
That's right. That's the lower 40, if
the
you
lower
will.
40,
The lower.
as it's known.
Yeah.
Have you guys been playing Wordle?
Never played it.
3 times.
Only 3?
Yeah.
It's a fun little thing.
It took me forever to find it. I downloaded 4 apps, dude, from the App
just a
Store called
website.
Wordle. Yeah.
Oh, really?
He downloaded
And they all made me pay.
Warble.
You bought?
I probably spent $8. I probably spent $8 total on Wordles that weren't the Wordle. I was like, where did I get the squares?
Dude, that's probably those scams' whole strategy.
Sucks.
You know,
it
like
sucks.
there are going to be enough suckers to fall for this. No. We'll put out a subpar game. It's a very simple game. It's New York Times.
New York
website,
Times. I ended up
browser.
finding it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
a fun
actually
game.
found it from Darren Whitehead's post. He said something about the New York Times, and I was like, okay, I'll do New York Times, Wordle, and then it was just, web browser, web-based.
Yeah, right there.
Tick me
Yeah, it's
off.
fun. I have a couple group chats that now all we talk about is Wordle. Well, all we do is just send our little Wordle updates. But
Is
man,
it the same word for everybody every day?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
So it's like, how did you get that in 2 guesses? It
Yeah.
took me 5 or 6.
Sure.
And so it can either be, it's not that fun for me on its own, but it's fun to compare metrics and compare stats and streaks to one another.
I want to be in that group chat.
Okay.
I don't need to be.
I want to
but
be in that without playing it.
Would you
Okay.
play it though? You'd be good at it.
You would be
I don't
good.
know.
Yeah, you'd be good at it.
Oh my gosh. Today, the word was rupee. RUPEE. Like I believe it's the currency in India. One of the
Yeah.
currencies, at least.
Huh.
Yeah.
And Joel Hall tried to say that he got that in 2 guesses. I think that's pure and utter malarkey.
Can't
Yeah.
he? Doesn't he have to prove it?
No. Well,
yeah, his
you can
thing
prove
would be
it.
like yellow, 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 and then all
Yeah,
green.
yeah. So, I mean, you can do it on a different device.
Oh,
It's by IP address, so you could do it on a different device and then go to your phone.
good call.
I think he cheated. Ben Day has an investigation ongoing, so we're going to figure out.
Of course.
He has the resources as well. Not Ancestry.com, but
No. He couldn't afford that. But
Good.
no. But
He's a different sector in the research department for sure.
He is. Hey, listen this. Listen this, man. You
Yeah.
heard me. Listen this. You. So this was a headline on the news. Yahoo News, so questionable news source, but questionable in the sense that it's very grabby headlines. Woman cancels date after discovering man's zodiac sign. Is this something that is common in the dating world? A man was stunned by the reason his date canceled on him. Apparently, it was because of astrology. He asked Reddit's dating advice forum to weigh in. He asked out a barista he'd been making friendly conversation with for a few weeks. She agreed to go on a date. But after looking him up, she decided his zodiac sign wasn't compatible with hers.
give me a break. Give me a break.
Break
me off a piece of that zodiac sign.
That's it. That's, man, I tell you, dating is hard enough, let alone throw in the these kinds of things. Block your shot before you can even take it kind of thing. Block your own opportunity to meet somebody that you like.
People are so freaking stupid. Sorry.
It's I forgive you. I am stupid.
You are so... It was you.
It was me. She's a freaking Sagittal. What's it? What's one of the signs?
Sagittal.
Sagittal.
Yeah, I just don't have much to say about that other than when it comes to like knowing, it's tough. Like the social media aspect of looking at investigating somebody like that you're interested in dating, or like dating apps. Sometimes you're better off just finding that some of that stuff out later on. You know, if you find something out straight away that seems to be like, nah, not for me. Versus if you already like a person and you find out later that they have that about them, there's a very good chance they'll be like, I can live with that. I mean, a little less than ideal, but I can compromise because they're a great person. They make me happy. You know, like we almost have too much information available to us when it comes to like that dating side and that interpersonal kind of thing. You know,
Well, it's almost like too subjective too. It's almost like people are trying to be too selective.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
a zodiac sign. Oh, you mean to tell me that in 10 years that probably won't matter? Like,
Yeah,
you mean to tell me
right.
that in 2 years or 1 year or 1 month that probably won't matter? Like,
Yeah.
You're putting a lot of stock into something that's completely unvalidated. Completely
so
unvalidated.
stupid.
That too.
Like
But
that's
yeah.
that's my thing about that kind of zodiac sign stuff specifically is guide your life however you want to.
Yeah.
But don't try to make assumptions about mine.
Based on stars.
There are literally always commonality things within those zodiac sign things.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Most people have that trait. The majority of people have that trait. And you just so happen to fall within that same zodiac sign. If you're going to tell me that I have those traits, get out of here right away.
Sure. Yeah.
It's not happening.
Hey, so prime example. Regular workouts and eating right is your mantra for keeping fit. You remain financially secure as previous investments keep you financially strong. Tensions regarding someone or something may mar domestic peace and harmony. Those planning for a long drive can expect an exciting time. Academic difficulties will get sorted out as you seem determined to give your best. Hey, man, something in there for everybody!
Straight up, dude.
That's one horoscope, dude.
You're fishing around in a jar of animal crackers. You're going to fish out those traits, man.
There's something in there for everybody.
But I guess my question isn't like horoscopes, like if you, like everything is positive about horoscopes, right?
I mean,
there's some negative stuff.
Well, sure, but like,
it's not like
but
damning.
it could apply to anybody.
Yeah, 100%. Everything that it's not like they're like, so what are you? Okay. Yeah. So you probably have a mother who used to make enchiladas. She called them enchiladas, but she didn't really, they weren't
but
really
it was actually
enchiladas.
just
It was more
a
of a casserole, right?
Yeah.
You're the type of person who, it's like, okay, at that point, I'm like, all right, they're really honing in on me. Okay, I can invest in stock in this.
Hey, Stout.
So that one, hold on. But that one was for Cancer, the Cancer sign. So if you're a Cancer, then regular workouts and eating right is your mantra for keeping fit. Jordan, you're not a Cancer, are you? But that's your mantra.
That's how everybody stays fit.
I literally go to the gym every day. Would you do me a favor real quick? Just because you have your phone and I don't have mine because it's up there.
Yeah. No problem.
Look up Taurus because that's what I am.
Taurus.
And let's see how accurate this is. I'm actually interested in this. Taurus.
All right. Libra. Sagittarius.
Taurus.
Capricorn.
SLE.
With the trim package or no? Hold on.
No. He's on Kelly Blue Book.
Find a Taurus for me, would you? Find a Ford Taurus.
86,000 miles.
All right. Taurus. You will be able to effectively curb expenses by taking some drastic measures. Not something you're concerned with. You may leave something unattended at work and become answerable for it, so take care. You work at home, you're not going to leave anything there. A new line of treatment for an old ailment is going to work wonders. No health issues. Family ties are set to get strengthened through a marriage. Everybody in your family's already married. All good. Traveling on a short vacation will be oodles of fun. True for anybody, regardless of freaking sign or time of the year. You may begin to work towards mending fences in a property dispute.
Don't own a house.
And there you go. So
rent a house.
Yet, if Jordan was on a dating site and a girl, it said that the Taurus said to him, he's the Taurus, she's the the Celica. Right. They're not matchable. That person in that situation with the article you pulled up is going to go, now you know what, you're mending too many fences over here.
Yeah, he's not attentive about his stuff, and he might leave something valuable at work, so he's got to take care, or else he's going to frickin' lose something valuable.
He might leave something at home.
Hey, find out who people are on your own.
I'm going to send this podcast to that frickin' person.
Let's do it. I'm going to find his or her name.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be history.
Yeah, we'll really get them. But isn't it so dumb? But like people do this about, okay, take away the, what's it called? Horoscopes?
Horoscope.
The sign. Take away the sign or whatever. Dude, people do this like, oh, he's 6'1" and not 6'2". So I'm not going to be able to date him. Or, his jawline looks a little bit like jacked. Or he's got a patchy beard. Like, hey, get to know somebody.
So true.
Well, yeah. Here's the problem with online dating. I've said this multiple times because I've been doing it for what seems like 20 years.
And I've never done it. I've never done it.
20. Jordan. Whatever, dude.
I don't have any relevance to this conversation.
You don't.
I've been on your dating apps.
Yeah. So, but just let me explain
Grab my dating apps. Other dating apps. My
Your
other dating apps. All right. Sorry, go ahead, Will.
It's literally like you're back to the car thing. It's like you're configuring a car or putting together a meal. People, because there's so much information, there's on your profile, there's what kind of job you have, your height, where you live at, obviously pictures of you, your interests, answering questions, all these things that are supposed to break down within one page who you are. And people make a dynamic decision whether or not they're interested in you based off this little description of you. Mm-hmm. But what people do is, because it's online dating, it's literally swiping.
It's a menu.
There's so little vested interest that people have and little attention span people have in like finding someone to date at this point. And when they are trying to select somebody, if they have this minor credential, cool, I'm into them. If they don't, nah, on to the next one, because there's literally just seems like endless pages of people.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with online dating is it's a
tough.
recipe for disaster. It truly
It's
is.
tough. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Is there such thing as dating not like online? Like, is there such thing as finding someone in a public place?
No one knows how to do that
it's
anymore.
It's an honest question. Like,
Yeah, there is. There
would
somehow
you,
is.
Would you run into someone at a restaurant or
in the freaking produce aisle or something,
a
dude?
bar?
Yeah.
Like, probably a bar would be the best place, right? Like a social setting like that.
I'll say, man, I'll tell you, in a city like Nashville, there are tons of single people, of all ages, and I mean of all adult ages and like all different walks of life and everything.
Yeah,
and there are plenty of opportunities around here to just walk up to somebody and be like, "Hey, this just goes to show how little I do this or have never. Hey, just really love your vibe.
Me.
I don't know. This seems really weird, but I just saw you. I just love your style. I think you seem cool, and based on the avocados that you're picking here, I can tell a lot about a person. I don't know. You say something like that. Little meet cute. There are opportunities to do that, and a lot of people do that in life. I've come to realize and learn. Like, a lot of people are kind of just not afraid to do that. Now, there really isn't a reason to be afraid. What's the worst that somebody can say? No. Okay, then a stranger who you will more than likely never see again knows that they rejected you. But the upside
that's
is...
the case for a place like Nashville, where everyone in Nashville is not from Nashville, and more oftentimes than not, they're looking to meet people and they're looking to do other things because they're...
That's true. Transplants everywhere.
In Michigan, you're probably going to see them the next day at the grocery store.
Yeah,
you're probably going to see them at the gas station.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah,
Yep.
or at Ironwood, or something.
Ironwood
Post.
Yes. It's I guess the scenery does make a big difference, because I'm not just going to walk up to somebody at Westbourne Market in downtown Plymouth and be like, honeydew, huh?
Have you tried cantaloupe? Well, I cantaloupe tonight.
I used to be a cantaloupe guy.
You probably could, though, dude.
You could, dude.
You could, though. That's the thing.
You're freaking cute and you're funny and you're
dude.
charming.
Shut up, man.
You dress well. Like, you could do that.
You smell good.
No. And here's why I can't. Because I believe too much in horoscopes, and I want to know what the horoscope is beforehand.
Son of a! I knew you wrote it, dude. I knew you wrote that.
I'm not diving into something without knowing their sign. What I can say with confidence is I don't think that people are accustomed to anymore. People just walking up and starting a random conversation with them.
But that gives you the opportunity to be different in a good way, though. If you can do that, it's interesting. This guy has stones that nobody else does. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for me too.
It could go one or two ways. It really could. But I just think in general that people are just like, if they're looking to date, like if they're actively trying to date, that they hop on a dating website. And at that point, most of those people that are doing that are not, I don't know, like engaging in that type of conversation, random conversation with a lot of people.
Dude, I think the opposite. I think that people who are on dating apps, no one has positive things to say about dating apps. No one is like, yeah, I'm having great luck. You know, I met my future husband or wife, you know?
I've been in 3 marriages since I started doing online dating. It's going well. Yeah.
I think that people who are on online dating apps are like, they like to knock on it, you know? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
They just suck. I just like, specifically for me, I'm not too much of a guy who's like engaging random girls in conversation in a grocery store or a bar. Not that I go to bars that often, but you know, it's just it's so cliche to say, but it's like, where the hell do you meet people?
Yeah.
And it's a weird dynamic.
Yeah, it's fair.
Man, maybe I've become so accustomed to the online dating thing too. I hate it though. I absolutely hate it, because you can't communicate who you are through that, and then it jumps over to text, and the texting lasts for 2 weeks, and then you go out, and it's like, we talked about everything that I needed to learn about you on here
already. Yeah.
Now I'm the primary conversation driver, and I don't know what to ask you. Now it sounds like an interview, and this sucks. So,
dang, dude, that's insane. This struggle has got to be like common. Like,
yeah, I think totally. I think totally. Yep. I think for that reason, if I get a little hungrier for, you know, just like relationship, then I'm probably going to be the guy who goes up to strangers and is like, hey, you know, I promise I'm normal and everything, but you're cute and you seem cool and I like your style. What's up?
Don't start it off with, I promise I'm normal.
Dude, you also are probably the most charming conversationalist that anybody
thank you
knows.
Well, here's my thing. I never want to make anyone feel uncomfortable whatsoever, like to the point where I'm just hypersensitive to. I think you guys both are as well. But like, I never want to make anyone, regardless of, you know, man or woman, and I'm interested in the person or not, you know, whatever. Like, I just don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable. And I never want to be perceived as somebody who's like not aware of how they make other people feel. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
But yeah, it could work. I think there are a lot of single people out there, probably in Livonia and Plymouth too. You know, you just
right where I want to meet somebody. 2 ideal cities.
Yeah.
All right. Either someone I went to high school with or someone I live close to. Yeah.
I want to be a wingman.
It'd be nice.
Would you let me to be?
Dude, you would.
Or would you let me to be?
You're too hot.
Huh?
You're too hot, dude.
He is, dude. He'd overshadow
You're
me.
too handsome.
He'd overshadow.
Too handsome.
That's so dumb, dude.
You're
freaking too handsome.
She'd start talking to you, and then I gotta walk away, and then
you'd walk away.
And
then I'd buy her drinks, and then Monica would think I cheated on her. And
right.
See, it's all full circle. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bummer.
No, I'd have you as a wingman. I'd have either one. I've had you as a wingman before, I believe. But
I think so.
I'd have you as a wingman, Jordan, anytime.
And that same night,
I don't know when I'm going to cash in this favor, but
one of those times, at least that same night, when she was not being kind to you because you had wronged her in your past, I said, "You're not going to talk to him like that." Remember that?
Dude.
We're out of here.
Did it get serious? Did it get serious?
Yeah.
I was like, "You're not going to talk to him like that."
Yeah.
I said something to that effect.
We went up to the bar, and it was loud, and we were like sitting there. We hadn't seen each other in however many months.
Pointed my finger in her face.
I poked her in the eye.
Shoved her cheek up.
You're not going to. Yeah, you had a previous history with this person, and you hadn't seen her for several months.
And it was the first time I'd been seeing her in however many months. So we go up there. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what the conversation was going to be like, how open she was to talking to me, whatever. And she was just pretty much like silent and wouldn't say a word to me. And
hold on real quick, Will. The backstory is that a few months prior, you were not interested in her and she was super interested in you.
Yes.
You guys parted ways because of your lack of interest. Then sometime later, you realized that I had a mutual contact who was friends with that person.
Yes.
And you were like, maybe she wasn't so bad after all. I wonder if she'd be open to talking again. Because
Yes.
I realized, maybe there's some things about her that I'm open to now.
Yep.
That leads us to that night, first time you'd seen her in several months.
Yes. So didn't know what to expect. We go up there. She's not really talking to me. Obviously not engaging. And came to find out she didn't know I was coming up, which is always what you want. Always what you want in that situation.
It was a surprise for her
She
that
was
Will
into
appeared.
me. I ended things. Hadn't seen her in months. You want to see me. You want to see me unannounced. Me,
Yeah. That's
No.
great.
Go up there,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
sitting there. Clearly, she's not talking to me. Which I had assumed that whole time that she knew I was coming. If I didn't know, if I had known she didn't know I was coming, then I wouldn't have probably
You would
done
have
it.
gone.
So
Now, as a wingman, do you have someone there?
A mutual contact who's
Mutual
friends with
contact,
her.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so everybody, it's 4 people.
four
Yes,
people
it's
sitting
4
at the
people,
table.
yeah.
It's not just me and him going up there to bombard her.
Okay.
So yeah,
And
but we're sitting there.
hold interrogation light over her head. Answer us.
It's a flashlight. It's your phone light.
Yes, yeah. So it's the 4 of us. Yeah.
Yeah. And she wasn't engaging with me. And all of a sudden Stout was like, so you going to talk to him or what? And I don't remember what she said, but then you fired right back and you're like, all right, you know what? If you're going to be like that, blah, blah, blah. And then you just walked away and I was just sitting
left
there
you
by
there.
myself. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to do now for sure. And I'm like, well, I'll see you guys. And then I just got up and walked out with him. But I was just like, this is not how I expected mine.
Because you had his back, dude. You
Well,
had his back.
I should have stuck around. I don't know what I should have done, but I was just like, so are you going to talk to Will or what? Like, we came up here. He wants to talk. Like, he's here. What he's trying to engage with you here. Are you going to talk to him or not? And I forgot what she said. I was like, you're not going to talk to him like that. We're gone. Bye. See you later.
Yeah.
Mutual contact. Buzz off. Bye. We're gone. The boys are leaving. See you guys later.
Yeah.
Wow. So
So-
have you talked to that person since?
We briefly spoke just via text after that.
That
and
night or like day after, like
day
regarding
after,
that
I
event?
believe,
Okay.
regarding that incident. She didn't know I was coming up there, and clearly I walked into whatever. But yeah, it was like, I'm sorry, you didn't deserve that or whatever. So we reconciled some, but never saw her obviously after that ever again.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
so online dating, man. This is how it goes. It's cool. You should download every app. Try them all out. Switch
Online
between
dating.
apps.
Dude.
Switch.
Fire off an app a day.
Yeah, I've never. An app a day keeps the doctor away.
That keeps a lot of things away.
So true.
Yeah. So on the way over here, I've talked about a sort of Need for Speed sort of scenario that happened before in Plymouth, right?
Speed bump
jumping
one.
railroad tracks.
Where you felt like you drove into a scene of Need for Speed, and
Yes.
there were kids cheering
there-
when the
there
guy
are-
went over the train tracks.
Clearly, there's like stunt men that live in this area, in my area, because on the way over here to Jordan's, he lives maybe 12 minutes away. There's this area of the road on the way here where you can get in the right lane to turn onto this main road, but after you pass over that road, it merges back into one lane. Someone in front of me, slow driving makes me more insane than anything in the planet. I get more rage when I'm on the road than any other time in my life.
Sure.
I just don't have the patience for it.
Yeah.
So I had to pass this person. I'm like, we come up to the red light. I'm like, I'm going to get in the right lane, and then I'm going to cross that main road. And as soon as I do, I'm going to merge back over left because it turns back into a 1-lane road.
Wow.
2-lane road. So we pull up to the red light. I get into the right lane. For some reason, I had this anticipation that the guy on my left, which maybe I always have this because they know that it's also merging into a single lane again, that they're like, this guy's going to try and cut me off and whatever. Right?
Yeah, I'm going to gun it.
I was like, not in a hurry to get here, but I just want to get there. I don't want to sit behind traffic. Get in the right lane, red light. It's counting down like a drag race is about to begin. I didn't even look over to my left to see if this person was paying attention to me or not. I didn't care. I just knew the second that light turned green, I was gunning it to get back over.
Yeah.
Light turns green. I smash my gas pedal, as does the BMW SUV right next to me. I just saw the headlights tailing right with me.
No.
And I said, you know what? Today's not your day, dude. Today's not your day. You're not messing with me.
So you gunned it in the Ranger?
I had the gas pedal all the way to the floor, doing 75 and a 40. And I won.
You did?
And
Let's
nothing felt better.
The good guy wins, boys.
Nothing
the guy
felt
wins sometimes,
better.
dude.
That's
Couldn't have
good.
been off to a better start walking in here after
And then
that.
did he? And then did he kind of like back off after and just
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
let you keep? You went your distance, and
He was
just kind
telling
of
me though, like, yeah, he kept getting in the lanes. I
Oh.
was getting in. I'm like, this guy's trying to start something. I don't know.
Yeah,
But I couldn't believe that in my Ranger, I smashed this BMW SUV.
Dude,
that's
proud.
special.
you know
that's got to feel good.
The good situation about that is that if you're in that situation and you both gun it, I'm going to be the guy that lays off because
yeah.
I know that the car behind that guy did not also gun it. So I can get over.
That's
You
true.
know?
It's like, I get a personal degree of satisfaction just being like, haha, got you to do what I wanted you to do, which was go faster.
Yep.
So you went faster now. So, okay,
Always
back to speed limit.
reframing it so
I-
you
like-
win.
Yeah.
There's a narrow amount of room
Gotcha.
to where, like, if you're gunning it that fast, you have to get over at some point.
Yeah.
And this guy was like keeping up with me so much that like he was impeding my way of getting back over into the lane.
Right.
Yeah, it was do or die.
And
Pretty
I'm like,
much.
you're not getting this, dude.
Not tonight.
What are you gonna let me veer off the road? No, of course you're not. You're gonna back off.
Yeah, you're gonna
It's a
yield
game
because
of
you're a
chicken
chicken.
at this point.
100%.
Chimkin.
And I won that. So
That's
that felt
good, man.
Dude,
Little
congrats
victory
on
for
that.
the day.
Dude,
Thank
yeah,
you.
congrats on that.
Major.
Thank you.
Major.
Big win.
For real. For real.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I've got. I'm glad you shared that little anecdote. Second time I think I've used that in this episode, so that's all good. But guys, as always, it's been a pleasure. Episode 47. If
47,
you can believe
man.
that.
It's great.
And however long it's been, I think a year and a half of doing this podcast. So I don't know how many what the average would be per episodes per week over the past year and a half. Since it's 47, less than number of weeks in a year, the average would be sub 1. But I don't know. I'll do the math and come back to you on that. But anyway, episode 47 of Stouting Off in the books. Love you listeners as always. Adore you, cherish you, honor you. Jordan and Will, thanks for being here as always. Love the Stouting Off family. We'll see you guys next time.